Times President's Club Award winner. Hey guys, do you mind when you hear someone go 2 times, then you go 2 times.
2 times?
2 times.
2 times.
2 times.
I'll do it 2 times.
What does that mean?
We can run through it, even though we are broadcast. We are live, but I don't mind this because this is season 9. It's really important. So we'll go. Kevin, you want to run through, just do a pretend introduction, and then I'll do the 2 times to show how it works.
All right. And now, here's your host and 2 times.
2 times.
Oh, these guys are naturals.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
All right, perfect.
2 times.
President's Club Award winner.
Yeah, Pete Van Dyke.
Pete Van Dyke.
President's Club Award winner. That's how come you have a pool shed.
You get half the pool shed if you're a one-time.
Yeah, you don't get a whole pool shed unless you win it twice in a row, back to back. Anyways, let's do the ads right off the hop, and then we'll get to our great show that we have. This is plain and simple, people. Where's my camera? This one? Yeah. Hey, all you got to do if you want to support our show is go to patreon.com/Dutch Hall, and you can join our queen, Jen Husko, who, happy birthday, by the way, queen.
Yeah, happy birthday.
And you can join her as being our and she wouldn't be our one and only anymore. There'd be 2, and then you could have all the privileges of our queen and help us support the show. So go to patreon.com/Dutch Hall and help us out. And also thank you to Clean Flow, our sponsor of our show, for re-upping again. Yeah. Round of applause for Clean Flow at home there. Yeah. Clean Flow, go to cleanflow.com. That's KLEENFLO.com, and check out all their great products. And who else we got? That's it. Oh, I got a gig coming up on October the 14th. It's the 40th anniversary of Pumpkin Fest, and we are doing a show right after the fireworks at Swazi's in Waterford, which is one of my favorite places in the world. Come for a very wild night. We have a real wild lineup of stand-up comedy that night. We have anything can happen. Anything can happen that night. You have to come. We have the wonderful Badunka Funk providing us with music and entertainment. We also have on our lineup myself as the host. Our feature is Joe Botello, and our headliner is Ty Wright. So come out and go to Eventbrite or look at my website or DutchHall.com or Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that shit. And then come out and have a great time. We're going to have a great time. You should have your dancing shoes for that one because we're going to have a lot of fun and get drunk. Oh, that's it for the ads. We have people from London. We have a new director. Oh, I'm so tired. I am really wore out, man. So all we got to do is one thing. Johnny, you know what it is? Kevin, I don't know if this guy's got the chops.
He's got it.
But let's see if he's got it. Hit that theme song, Johnny. Yes. You fucking nailed it. Do I get a... Oh, may I have a beer? Is this going to work? Sorry. I've set up an empire.
Here's your host and 2 times President's Club Award winner, Pete Van Dyke.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Dutch Hall. We're back on it's a Thursday to you because that's when we're releasing this show, but it's a Tuesday ordinarily according to my calendar. And we have actually a great show. 2 comedians that came all the way from London, Ontario. We have a new director we're breaking in, and I'll tell you, he's doing a fine job already.
Crushing it.
So let's start with the introductions. First of all, a co-host of this program and the guy who was the announcer did a fine job, Kev.
All right.
Even though I think I got to do some work on your mic. You're a little bassy.
Oh.
But I tell you, it suits you. It suits you.
Yeah.
Maybe this is going to end up being the new voice of Kev Longdonger, Van Dungeon, everybody. Let's hear it for him. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, we forgot to show Johnny the applause one. But now it brings us to our next guy. This is my great pleasure. It's the second time on the program. I've already loaded him up with responsibility. He's starting to sweat already. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause at home for Johnny Renton, everybody.
Yeah,
Johnny
Johnny.
Renton. Yay. And from London, we have our guest that drove all this way through the darkness into where you think you've just been maybe had a trick played on you, and you're going to be maybe assaulted in the forest, made to squeal like a
We
pig.
talked about that on the way through.
Yeah.
Some banjo.
It's what usually the first time comics come to my place, they have that feeling about like 45 minutes into the drive, like, is this all just some weird scheme to get robbed and murdered? You know?
Yeah, I texted my girlfriend as soon as we pulled in. I'm like, hey, we just made it to Pete Van Dyke's house, so if anything goes wrong, you know where I am.
Yeah.
It's Pete Van Dyke's
I couldn't
house.
believe it was your house in the beginning, and when I stopped,
Yeah, he's like, is this the right place?
I was like, "There's no numbers," and
Yeah. They're all out here. They're on like
yeah, we saw it.
yeah, on the road. They put them on the road.
We
Eh?
thought like somebody with a shotgun would just walk out and like get off my property.
Still might.
Yeah. That's the vibe I give off, right, when I'm doing stand-up.
No, you don't get that. I don't get that vibe at all. But this house gets that vibe.
Oh, cool.
It's like
cool.
people have guns on the walls here, like for sure.
It's very welcoming if you're white. I mean, like, it's fine to come here.
Yes, you guys nailed my subdivision perfectly. Let's hear it for our guests, Noah James and Yvonne Baltag, everyone.
Hey.
What's going on?
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Now, number one, I already stumbled on your name, Ivan Yvonne, and it's Yvonne.
I just give up, man, right now.
Yeah.
Like, I give up. Like, people ask me, like, what is it, Ivan or Ivan? I'm like, you know what, man, just whatever.
Yeah,
I don't want to be a dick anymore.
Your name's Yvonne, but we can't say it right. Like
No, you
something
guys
in our head, we can say it, but we somehow get blocked, or I do. My brain gets mixed up, and I say Ivan, and then I always have to say Ivan Yvonne.
It's
Ivan
not
Yvonne.
even his real name, though. Is it not? Isn't it like Ion or
My
something?
real
like?
name is Ian.
Yeah, so
Ion? Like-
Ion.
Ion.
I-O-N.
Oh, that's even cooler, man.
Yeah.
It's
It's
kind of
cool,
like
but I don't-
atomic.
I only use that in my professional field. Like, I show up at work, it's like, what's your name? I'm like, Ion, call me Eon or whatever.
I only figured it out when I went through his mail. That's how I figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
You guys live together?
Yeah.
We're roommates,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. How is that?
It's good because he's got his own place down in the basement.
Now I do. For the first little while, the first year and a half, like I moved in and the pandemic happened. And I was stuck with Ivan upstairs, and it was a lot of fun for a month. And then
he started taking the TV away and PlayStation, you know what I mean? Like,
I did take the TV away at one point.
yeah, at some
My fucking
point,
TV.
like, you know, like when you live with roommates, like you're having fun, but when pandemic, like you become an alcoholic and you become abusive.
I can only imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun, and well, we had a buddy sleeping on our couch because his grandma was like 90,
Yeah.
and he couldn't go home because of COVID, and he worked at McDonald's, right? Like, so he was like scared he's gonna
He's
get
gonna
her.
get her
And-
sick, so he'd get you sick instead.
So, you know, maybe she's got like 10 years, but with COVID, she might be had 2, you know, like, so you never know.
Yeah.
But he was like really scared, and he calls me, he's like, hey, can I stay over? And I'm like, anything for you. I think you've met him before. Christos?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that he was slept on my couch for a month.
Christos slept on your couch for a
Yeah.
month. Yeah, for people that don't know Christos, Christos is probably one of the most original acts I've ever seen in my life, I would say.
100%. That guy's so unique.
I've never seen anyone like him, and it's one of those, like, to imagine him as a human being that lives during the day.
Dude,
like,
he is though. This is weird, like, because like he's got this like crazy act, but when I meet him for a beer, he's like, I love baseball, and I'm like, all right, man, like, like it's cool. Like he's very normal. Like,
yeah. His
got-
act is wild, though.
he's cool.
He
Yeah.
shaved his head the one day on stage. Like he went up, I was thinking it was the rec room. He went up and actually just started talking, and then just pulled out a fucking buzzer and started shaving shaving his head.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
And then he had like at the end when he shaved his head, like a picture of Britney Spears with a shaved head like appeared behind him, and he goes like Britney bitch, and he just walks away, and he left all his whole equipment on his stage just there. Like it was awesome.
Didn't he
Like,
make a chainsaw once?
yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
It wasn't real though. It was one of those plastic toy chainsaws.
Yeah, I mean, every time, even when he just goes up with a clipboard, you think he's having like a real breakdown. Like he's, or like at certain times, you're like, I don't know if we should call someone. You know?
The wellness check or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. He makes me laugh though. That's for sure. I say it every time. It's like I have a very like I think about stand-up in the way I think about stand-up, right? Like, so like when I write jokes, I write them in the way I write jokes. And every time I see a person that writes in a totally different way, like there's no matchup between his thinking and mine at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most, that's like a gift, you know? Like I'm in. Like
It's more like I feel like it's just more of those lines of improv comedy, you know? Like spontaneous, but very well prepared spontaneous comedy.
Yeah, I didn't know that at first. I thought it was just kind of like what do you call it when it's just like verbal diarrhea or something, you know, like what they call stream of consciousness, right? but it isn't, because I've seen him do it in multiple places, and he's hitting the spots. I can't believe we're talking this much about Krista.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but I am a big fan. I haven't seen him do his act in a while.
Yeah,
you know, also in London, who is it's just an interesting act to talk about. I don't know his name, but he does like a song in his act.
Oh,
and
Jester Lind?
No, he seems like he's very nervous at the beginning, and he's probably a little autistic or something, or a lot.
I was about to say Pat Tiffin, but I haven't seen Pat Tiffin on the guitar.
It's no, this guy's not playing guitar. He does like a song parody or something at the end, and it
is he a bigger guy?
Bigger guy.
Yeah. I think his name's Andy.
Andy, yes.
Andy. I don't know. Pomeransky? Is that?
Andy Pomeransky.
Yeah,
That's him.
And I'll tell you something. That's a guy who I want to say that I'm not going to like what he does, but the room explodes. And I'm like, everything about this shouldn't work. And if I did it, it would not work. And then this guy crushes rooms with it. Eh? Isn't that crazy?
I've only seen him do it.
Dude, I even
twice.
die laughing, and
Me too.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's just the way. I also I feel like the way he writes those songs, but his voice too. It's like because it's always like trembling all the time. He's like you think like he's nervous, but I feel like he does it on purpose. Like he's got that thing where you go and then he just follows through with the whole thing.
Yes.
And I'm just like. And I'm just dying laughing, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like watching Chris Farley.
Yeah, you go on an emotional roller coaster with them, because the audience gets nervous at first for him. They think they're watching someone bomb, and then all of a sudden, the guy keeps going, like he's muscling through it, and they're kind of rooting for him. And then by the time he fully commits to this song at the end or whatever, they're so behind him that they're just, I don't know, maybe it's a release of tension or something like that. He's done it, or
thank God he
whatever
did
it is.
He got through it. Thank God.
Whatever his little autistic brain did, he figured out a formula to make everyone laugh all the time.
He came out to Poachers about I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and he introduced himself to me. He's only met him one time before. He's like, hey, I'm Andy. I was like, oh, nice to meet you, Andy. No, he's like, yeah. He's like, you're quite handsome. I was like, thank you. He's like, is there room on the list? I'm like, there is now, motherfucker. Yeah, of course you can come on here.
Yeah, I gotta try that, Noah.
Yeah, it works. You flatter me, you get on the list 9 times out of 10.
What else works?
Damn it.
You can buy me a drink.
Food.
Sing you a song.
Drive me home. Sing me some songs.
Take me as I come, because I can't stay long.
Exactly.
Oh, what is that? Buy me a drink, sing me a song.
Last Dance with Mary
song.
Jane.
There you go, Johnny.
Yeah.
Where were you, Kevin? See why you were replaced?
I see it.
That's why he's a sound engineer.
I call it Tom Petty song. Fucking dummy.
Kevin. That's funny. This whole thing, I didn't set it up, right? But you're a broadcaster, Noah, and I am not. Does it count if you fuck around in your shed for long enough? Do you become a broadcaster?
I think so. How many episodes you got now?
This is 413.
413. I'd say you're a broadcaster. I'd say you've done more shows than I've done in my radio career. So
Yes.
I'd say you're a broadcaster. You're broadcasting. You put it on the internet. You're a broadcaster.
Yeah, goddamn right.
You don't need to spend $20,000 at Fanshawe to become a fucking broadcaster. You just got to spend $20,000 in your garage
Yo.
and just be consistent.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's funny when we were coming here, you told us it's going to be a shed.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a shed.
No, this is nicer than any studio and radio I ever worked
Dude,
in.
I have a shed. Like, that's... I have a shed money.
Well, we're in the corner there where Kevin's sitting. There used to be a big pool motor in there, and when I bought this place, there was like lawn furniture and like it was where they stored their junk, and then the motor was running all the time in there. So I moved the motor outside, and then insulated this place, and then so I can make it this.
Nice.
Because my
Your kids move out. Did your kids moved out when you did that?
no,
they
my
moved
kids
the
live
motor?
here. That's why I had to get this
You were
place.
like, kids, get out. Daddy's place right now.
Yeah, like I had to. They wanted me out of the house, so I had built this place so I could hide. But it turned out to be kind of like this. And then we had. I keep telling this story over and over again, but. The most fun I ever had and the most I've ever laughed was just having people down in this shed, and it's or going to their shed or their garage or like their barn in the backyard or whatever they had, and just sitting around some picnic table or something like that and smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey and stuff.
Yeah, just shooting the shit.
Shooting the shit. Yeah, and we laugh our asses off, and I'm like, well, that should be a show.
Yeah.
Like just that.
Well, I think like that's just the most podcasts now. Like it's just like people just want to get closer with their
Audience?
Not audience. Well, also audience, but also like people want to get closer with their idols. Does somebody idolizing you? Like how many people idolize you?
I do now. This is a pretty nice shed.
Well, I don't
you
know.
got two of us now.
I'll tell you.
Where are we charting?
We were 50th or so in Canada.
Beautiful.
50th.
And then we are also I don't know if you know this, but we during our hiatus in the summer, we became a big deal in Sri Lanka.
Of course.
Hit number 3 on the charts.
It's only a matter of time.
I think we're back
What's
down.
the population of Sri Lanka like?
I have no idea.
75 million?
I still on some of my. It's all weird stats you get on these podcasts. You don't know how much of them is real because I'll be like number 3 on Sri Lankan charts. So I'm like, how many downloads did I get from Sri Lanka? None. 0.
Yeah, did you check it? Like, do you have it like on like
Steven's
SoundCloud and
dial-up,
stuff?
so like,
Huh?
Where do you post this all? Is like Spotify, SoundCloud, and stuff like that?
Yeah, it goes through like Podbean, and then they distribute it to like everybody.
Okay, yeah.
And then sometimes I just give my feed to like if I find out there's a new server, I'll just I try to. It's on. It should be on everything.
Yeah, like the podcast I was doing for a while, we did really great in Ireland. I don't know why, but like that was where we had the most downloads and most listens was in Ireland, in this random city in the States, and it was super strange. I was like, why is Ireland listening to us right now?
Yeah.
I don't even know how they understand me. Speaking a different language is fucked.
Yeah, we have a guy in Australia, one of our biggest fans. He says he's listened to almost every episode. He listens to it while he's milking his cows. Are you ready on the stinger, Johnny?
I'm ready.
He gives me feedback all the time.
Yeah.
There you go. See, he's got potential.
Got it.
It's not there yet, but he's going to get there.
Oh, he's got it.
And he gives it to me every week. And actually, this week's whole segment, we have a segment that we call feedback. We got feedback. Hit 2, buddy. Welcome to feedback. We got feedback.
Yeah,
You missed that one. I'm going to put that one in post, Johnny. Don't worry about it. There we go. Better late than never. And so this week, the only thing I'm going to do before I get into it is tell you, remember how I used to tell you to go to our website and then go to our Amazon banner? Don't ever do that again. They fired us, and we don't want you to help them out anymore. Let that guy go broke.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah. I blew up one of his rockets, in retaliation.
He's so rich, cannot grow any hair back, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at you, Bezos. You got no hair, and I got lots.
Yep.
So I don't need you anymore. Hey, so other than that, so we have nothing really. No one has given us any feedback. Yeah. That's the best one yet. And so we don't have anything to say. However, we did have a birthday of our queen, Jen, and I was touched that Jen Husko was not only, when we said the happy birthday messages, she actually got a message from Emil Van Steeg, all the way from Australia, thanking her for making this show happen. And I got to tell you, when I see listeners of mine, this is what, when you guys were saying, like, about people idolizing you or whatever, I don't feel idolizing her, but you build this family over the years. Because we've done this so long, and now we have listeners in different countries who have relationships, are wishing each other the best, like they know each other, you know, and they only know each other through the show. And I think that's super cool. One time we had two girls from the States put another listener up. No, one of our listeners put these two girls from the States, two other listeners, up in a trailer for a weekend for a local music festival here, and he never met them or nothing. These girls treat him like shit too. Yeah, but it's so cool. I think that's what this has done, and I want to thank Emil for doing that, because I love it. I love when the listeners find each other and then they end up having friendships, and even some of the people. So it's like gamers on Steam. It's like they talking through their fucking headsets, and it's just like, oh man. And I'm secondary. How did you meet your wife? Is at the concert. It's like, no man, we're playing CS. Yeah, we met on a fish board, but we've never listened to fish. We just go to the concerts to fuck. Anyways, that's it. Thank you. And if you guys want to continue to give me some feedback, go to livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com or thedutchhall@gmail.com. Go to Instagram and Twitter. I'm Dutch Hall, or go to Facebook. We're there too. LinkedIn. We're there if you're boring. And LinkedIn is the worst version of you. Yeah,
why did you made a LinkedIn for this?
Yeah. No, I made it for me, but me is this, I can't tell the difference between
I started making LinkedIn. Is it LinkedIn? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
accent, sorry guys, but I started making probably half a year ago. Because I graduated school and I was like, this is it. Yeah. And it works.
It does? What do you get with it?
I get my IT jobs with that.
Oh, yeah?
I was going to say, I got my job with it, too.
With LinkedIn?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hate LinkedIn. I already hate most social media, but LinkedIn, I agree, is the worst one.
I think
it's like saying this is the corporate version of yourself.
Yeah. LinkedIn is pretty much the facade.
Yeah.
You know?
This is what society wants me to be.
Well, yeah, you have to, though. You can't beat that.
But do you? Because look at me, I'm a piece of I have decided to leave that world. I'm not that thing at all. Now I'm old. You guys are young, and I'm old.
How old are you?
I'm 48, almost 49. I'll be 49 in a couple weeks.
You can work for 25 years or something. Mm-hmm. You can still work for 25
I'm going to work for the rest of my life. I'm going to tell jokes until I'm dead, just like John Rickles. I'm not going to stop telling jokes.
Well, if you have the means and that's it, it's good, right? If you have the means to help yourself, for sure. But now I'm if I quit my job, I'm done.
Yeah, because you're young,
know what I mean? I'm done. I'm moving in with my mom, and I hate Ukrainian moms, you know? It's not that I'm too old now, you know.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's why I did do it for so long. I did 15 years of it, but I knew the whole time I can't do this forever because it's not like it's like I had to be someone I wasn't, you know.
Yeah, having that corporate lifestyle, like I'm in it right now, and
Same.
it's not great. I
love it.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
Yeah,
I
you
want my
probably
job. I
love
want
it.
to keep my job.
I do sales, so it's not too bad. I feel like a used car salesman when I'm selling the product I sell. I'm just like, come on, you know it's gonna work here. It doesn't. It fucking doesn't. Like, you sure you want to buy it? I'm like, yeah, buy a half pallet of that. You'll love it. And then they're like, dude, it didn't sell. I'm like, yeah, but you got it anyway. So we'll move on. It's just weird.
Well, I was trained as a kid to think salesmen were all trying to like rob you, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of had it in my head. Like when I worked at the bank, I was essentially sales. And you kind of always think you're kind of pulling a fast one on someone.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I tried to like do something that makes sense, but sometimes like the company, like, or they're pushing this, like, you have to get this in there. And it's like, well, I'm looking at the store. It's not going to work. You're like, yeah, get it in anyways. So you're just like, hey, you know all that good work we've done together? Why don't we just flush it down the drain real quick, and you can take this, and then you can fucking hate me for the rest of the time I work here.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love my job. Like, I do love what I do, though. Like, you do. I do work like in a IT consulting company. So like, I basically go to like people that know shit about technology and tell them like, hey man,
this is what you need.
There is the fucking plug, you know.
He's the guy you message when you have a problem. Like, they're like, contact the help center, and then like you message Ivan.
Not
like,
at the moment. I used to like, you know what? I used to work for like I used to work for educational systems. Like, I used to work for Ivy Business School.
Yeah.
I fucking hated that place because it wasn't me, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm working for like a private sector technology that actually gives a fuck about people.
Yeah.
Because like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing about side of this corporate world. Like, because like
Private
enterprises where like you actually doing a good deed. And when I worked for Ivy, dude, like, I know I'm putting a fucking bad thing on them right now, but like, fuck, man, I hated it. Like, I didn't like it. Like, you couldn't say anything without consulting with your bosses. Like, and they would just like chastise you like a child. And I'm like 27, sitting in the office, and they're going like, you cannot do that. And I'm like, oh yes I can, right? And they go like, no you can't. And I'm like, yes I can, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that side of when you have a really good like ethical, like you have a really good intentions, and people tell you not to do that because it's bad for their image. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. Big time.
I like those sales conferences where like they're trying to sell you on the product, and it sells like, guys, we're creating an environment, and we're trying to bring these people to the beach, and that's what we're trying to do with this drink specifically. They're going to come to the beach, they're going to enjoy themselves. Like, yeah, well, that's not going to happen, right? You're not going to convince me. I should have to convince them. Or like, so they do a lot of stuff right now. It's corporate, right? So there's a lot of like, you know, talking about indigenous stuff and like very like PC, which is fine, but it's just like you feel how fake it is throughout the whole thing. Like, I have the Day of Reconciliation off on Friday this week. We had that day off, and it's like, we want you guys to take this day off to really think about what happened. Like, no one's fucking doing that at all. Everyone just we're going to a hockey game as a team. Like, that's how we're fucking
Blackhawks.
Jesus Christ, that's hilarious. A lot of nights, unfortunately. But yeah, it's like, we take this day off, guys. We really want you to think about what happened. And it's like, no, everyone's just taking. I'm just gonna get drunk at 12 o'clock. That's all that's gonna happen.
I remember like coming into the office one day, and I wasn't feeling good, and I went to tell to my one coworkers, my supervisor, like, I'm going home, I don't feel well. And he looks at me, he's like, it's okay, you're not in trouble. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, I'm going home, I'm feeling sick. It's like, what are you telling me this? It's like they're just trying to put this guilt on you that you don't own. You know what I mean? They make you feel guilty for like things you choose to do because you want to do it. You know, they just like, all right, man, I guess like I'm gonna go check somebody's computer. I was like, wait a second, you're not going anywhere. I was like, no, I'm gonna go like troubleshoot on my own. It's like, you can't go without a supervisor. And I'm like, all right, man, like anything is babysat in here. Like, that's why I didn't like it.
My daughter was born in 2002, and I took a 9-month parental leave because at my work they taught me up to 95%, and then they would tax you at a lesser level, so you'd take home more money being home with your kid than you did when you went to work. And then my wife, she's like self-employed, so she got nothing when she stayed home, right? So it was an easy decision to make. I got like more money. She got nothing. So like I'm going to take the leave, right?
Yeah.
And my boss tells me, you know, the last man that took this got fired right when he got back, eh? So, good luck.
Exactly, right? And then you go home and you have this like driving home and you're having this guilt. It's like I'm doing something wrong, but you're not, right?
No.
They're trying to do that to you, and I'm just like,
they're one of the 50 best places to work in Canada, apparently, because of this benefit they give.
But they
it's
fire
in the
you if you take it.
magazine, but if you take it, they'll fire you.
Yeah.
it's like you're greedy, man. You're too greedy with us. And
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
way, a multi-billion-dollar company.
I thought you had a vagina. Like, when I found out you were a dude, I'm like, this guy's got to go.
Yeah, he's
this
can't be.
But I identify as a parent.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you're raising a healthy family? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was also during that time. They got they said they have parking spots for mothers of young children, but not fathers. They're not allowed to use it. Couldn't they just say parents of small children? That's one of those times as a white straight man where I'm like, hey, I got one. I actually got one. That one should say my name too. You know, like I have to have a point.
Have a reason.
Yeah, they got to keep the
You
moral
get treated
up,
like shit when you're a dad, though. That cares. Because I remember even going to the doctor. You go to the doctor with your kid, and I was home with them. So like the doctor would ask questions, I'd answer them, and she would say, "I'm like, sorry, I'm asking the mother."
I don't know.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Just puts you in place like it's your mother-in-law. Like, hey, listen, I'm asking my daughter here, okay?
Yeah, and my wife would just go, he's right. Like,
Go change the oil in the car. Get the fuck out of this doctor's office.
exactly. What do you know about children?
Yeah, I came on a motorcycle because I'm poor.
Yeah, I took home ec, man. I took home ec to hang out with the girls.
I can sew pants.
Yeah, I can. Can you, Kev?
No.
You could if you tried hard
Oh,
enough.
probably.
It's just like we were talking about with broadcasting. If you do it every week,
Yeah.
you just sew
You're
your
a broadcaster.
I feel like
You're
that's everything in life. If you do it every day, you just become good at it.
Yeah, you can go to school to do stand-up. I did the Hunter Collins episode last week, and he went to Humber College. He was telling me all these great
I've got a
stand-up.
couple of people. I know a couple of people that did that, and I'm just like, what a waste of time. But then I realized they come from a rich family, so I'm like, it's not really a waste of time for them, you know?
Yeah, most universities kind of a waste of time for most of the people that are there.
kind of a
University was for me, but Fensha College is actually pretty fucking dope because like
Yeah.
I did the computer system technology program, and they set up me with really good co-ops.
Yeah.
So you can actually get into like
Get a
working.
job.
Yeah, exactly. And then a lot of people don't understand that concept of actually like building a relationship and learning how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's the thing.
a lot of people in university are like awkward, right? Like when you're 19, 18, like what the fuck do you know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like going there because you think it's you what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Well, honestly speaking, if you're smart enough, yeah, you get that diploma, you get out there and just start talking to people as much as possible. Like,
Broadcasting at Fanshawe is bullshit. Like it's stupid. It's really dumb. Like it's a really hard program for like an unnecessary reason. Like just like we gotta make it as hard as possible, but there's no co-op involved, and like they get you in telling you like you're in this higher echelon of a broadcasting program, but it's not. It's just that you pay them to run their radio station for 2 years, and they're like, guys, you guys get the best, you're the most equipped for any job. But then we went to this radio day in our second and final year, and all the speakers and everyone who we had to go talk to all went to Humber. Like, yeah, I got this job, you know, I'm from Humber. Like, not one Fanshawe guy was there except for one dude who was the vice president of Vista Radio, which is the one radio station nobody wanted to fucking work for. Just a garbage one.
Oh,
And
man,
it was
then the
brutal.
writings on the wall, eh? Like, at
Oh,
that
it was
point.
bad. It was like everyone was like really, really depressed after that. It's like, oh, I just spent $20,000 on this, and I'm not even gonna get a job. I ended up getting there were 62 of us that started, and then at the end only 16 of us graduated, and out of that, only me and one other person got full-time jobs in radio. Everybody else like couldn't find a job.
What was your full-time job? Sales?
No, I was a radio host in Alberta. I had my own show for a year, but like I was in like I was like 3-4 hours away from the Northwest Territory, so it wasn't like I had like a really sweet gig, but it was just like
what time slot did you get?
I started in the afternoon, and then after about a month or two, it was 2 months, they moved me on the morning show. But like,
you're up there, eh?
oh dude, it was so bad. I moved up there in the middle of all the wildfires too, so it was like I was like driving up and like I tuned into the station, and then it's like, yeah, so we lost 100 hectares of like fire today, blah blah blah. Like, hey, if you see smoke tomorrow, don't worry, it's not that close to Peace River, guys. You're fine. It was awful.
We got a new guy starting tomorrow.
Yeah, no,
He's on his way.
The whole town knows that Noah's coming. Like,
it was so bad. And then like the first the first 2 months there, they had me talk about the wildfires every break. Like, you can't talk about anything fun because everything's on fire. And I was like, oh my god, that sucks. So I just gotta say, hey guys, just so you know, it's still burning. All right, up next we got Katy Perry.
Raccoon on
Firework.
fire. Hilarious.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I remember when Noah moved out. That's before he was living with me, because like after he moved there, he was just like, he saw the house on listings. Like, do you live here? I'm like, yeah, whatever. But before he moved there, we became like really good friends, and we used to hang out. And then when he moved there, like I realized what kind of shithole. Like, not really, like, it's a small town. You know what I mean? It's a small town.
It's a shithole.
And then I see this billboard that says, is like in London, Ontario, like, we're hiring Radio 96.6 Rock, whatever. And I take a picture, like, Noah, come back. They have jobs here, bro. Like, what are you doing there? You're 21, bro.
It was such a strange place too. Like, you should like really Google it. It looks like it could be nice, but it's just terrible. Like, I had these like homeless people that lived behind me, and that was probably the most fun I had about living there. Is like I watched like this community grow. I'm not even like, I first moved there, they had a mattress, and there was like 10 people, and by the time I left, they had tarps and lights up. It was a little fire pit. I was like, these guys are like evolving in front of me. It's unreal. But like, there was also the bad part. Like, somebody got stabbed to death in front of my house in this small town. I was like, oh, this is great. And they're like, yeah, you got to report on that some more. I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk about this. Like, yeah, it's all right.
Do a live report.
Yeah, live report. She's dead.
I watched it happen.
Yeah, I was right outside my window.
There's too much blood.
It was actually outside of everyone's window.
We all live on the same street.
Such a random place, man. I hate that place.
Yeah.
Those are great though. I went to I planted trees when I was like 19, and I went to like Massey and Blind River in Northern Ontario. That's the closest I would have come to like spending time in like a remote town, you know. And it's like different, man. Like,
yeah, it's so secluded.
There's not like a town that goes into a town that goes into a town. It's like there's a town, and then there's
like
nothing.
3 hours, 4 hours.
Just like your place.
I was like,
maybe I would like it.
I was so far north. If I stayed for another, I think it was like 2 more months, the government was actually going to start sending me money because I lived there. Like, that's what they were going to. Like, I found another like
2 mules.
You know what I found though? Like, you bringing that up. Like, I actually like look up. Like, now I have a girlfriend and we watch TikTok together. Right? I used to like delete TikTok from my phone because like, fuck this, it's just wasting my time. But when you watch it together with a couple, it becomes fun. And they have this like things. Is like, one guy goes like, hey man, if you move in this town, they will actually pay you money because nobody's having kids there. And they were just like, there's towns like in Switzerland that are really like 10,000 population, but they would pay you like 100,000 euros to just move in there with your family. Yeah,
I've even noticed that they got ads on Toronto TV stations. My parents still watch TV, okay? And they have ads where they say move to Edmonton.
Yeah, I've seen those Alberta ones there. Like, come here, got a house.
We can get a house for under 400,000, and you get we got jobs and all this stuff. Like, they're really trying to get people to go there.
Honestly, I loved it out there. I just didn't like the town I lived in. Like, every time I went to Edmonton or Calgary, I had like a great time. Because I would go once a month just to like, it was kind of felt like I was coming back from the front lines and see civilization again. And they were a lot of fun. Like, it's really clean. Like, they're really clean cities. It's weird going there, but they're a ton of fun, man. Everyone there is really nice, fun. They just don't tell them you're from Ontario, and they treat you like gold.
Yeah, I think Ontario is like the worst place to get anything done. Like if you're gonna do business, Ontario's the worst.
Lots of red
You shouldn't be here. Yeah, go somewhere else.
If you know how to do business,
If you want to do business in a province in Canada, this is the worst one. Ontario's the worst one.
actually, I don't know. In my opinion, I think is the best one because you can build like a quicker network here because of the town's proximity is very close.
It's just
If
the
you think
amount of
about it.
red tape, though. It depends
but
on your
it's-
industry, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. But like, because I work in tech industry, right? So like, I used to live in BC for 7, 8 years. I used to live in BC. It was fun, but like commuting anywhere in BC takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it's harder to build a network, in my opinion. I think Ontario is the best way to actually build a network because there's so many major cities like just around each other. And
Yeah.
coming a
But
man
you
from
can make the most money in Alberta.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can,
well, well, everyone's looking for work out there. Well, everyone has work out there, I should say. Like it's just
Lowest taxes.
lowest taxes. Like like it's like going. I went to Tim Hortons the one day and it cost me like $6 for like breakfast and a coffee. I was like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense.
I bet you if you want to build something in your backyard in Alberta, you can just fucking build it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The only thing you have to worry about though
That's
is
the beauty of it. Yeah,
it's like the problem is you only have summer for like a month.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's just like windstorms and snow and,
Yeah.
and hell and fire.
Yeah.
But other than that, like that month, it's really beautiful. It's just a paradise for 30 days.
It's true. Do you know Iceland is like as warm? Like Reykjavik is as warm as it's warmer than New York City.
I've never been to New York City, but I've been to Reykjavik. Yeah, I went
New
to
York
Blue-
City be like here.
You've never been to New York, but you've been to Iceland?
Yeah, I've been to Blue Lagoons because I had a layover for 14 hours, and
You think it'd be
man.
colder there, but it's
no, it's actually pretty mild weather. Yeah,
'Cause
but
it's
because of the
trade winds.
volcanoes too. Like it's located on a magma.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of hot springs there, and
yeah.
when I went to Reykjavik, like I had a layover for 14 hours. I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna go to Blue Lagoons. I met a chick. You know, it was fun.
Paid her some money, they had sex.
Yeah, she paid me money, but like they all.
She paid me money.
Because the thing about like Iceland, everything is super expensive. Like to buy a sandwich there, and they still like they don't use euros. You know what I mean? They use their just kronas, right? They still
really?
use their like, and it's all changed. Like everything is. They still like live in the Viking era. It's like you go to a village, like can I buy a coat? And it's like, have you played
30
Skyrim? Like that's Iceland. Iceland, it's all Skyrim. It's like you're walking around, you just wake up in the middle of nowhere. It's like, all right, what should I do?
Everything.
Yeah, do you
Can I
have,
have your
do
virginity
you have
for
7
30
silvers
camels?
to trade this in? I was like, yes, I do. like,
7 silvers.
I
So
don't
you
know.
had to become a gigolo in order just to survive the 14 hours in Iceland?
No, the thing about Iceland, it's so funny because it's like,
He was really hungry.
well, the population of Iceland is like 320,000 people. Like that's just, and it's a massive country. Like it's a massive island, right? And then when my plane was landing, I saw all these roads right over there,
All the people.
and there's no traffic, right? And I see this one truck just going somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, man, it's so easy to be a serial killer in that country. You know what I mean? Just like, you move there, nobody will know, and that's it. Or everybody will know, but there's no one to report to. You
That's
know
why
what
he
I mean?
became
Like-
a gigolo. He was trying to have a serial killer life for a bit there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's an interesting country for sure. It's got its
That's where that chess player went, right?
One with the anal
Sparrow,
beads?
or who is it?
You know the chess player, the American one?
That crazy
Bobby
racist
Fischer?
guy?
Bobby Fischer, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the anal bead chess player.
The anal bead chess player. What's
What's
that?
that? I need to know.
But
that.
Iceland has really good like natural resources, like to power their country. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, but he was talking about anal bead chess player.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this to the
Oh yeah, I
audience.
heard that story.
It would be either anal bead chess player or geothermal energy. Which would you like to speak about?
Anal beads chess player.
There you are.
I've heard it somewhere on another podcast, to be honest. That's not-
Yeah, some
really?
guy cheated
yeah.
against some really good, allegedly cheated.
By shoving some like a piece up his ass?
He had like anal beads.
To
They
send
were
him
like-
signals.
Yeah, they were and they, I guess you
They
get a,
control that?
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Oh, I've
yeah.
seen that on the.
Yeah, it
on
was
the
remotely controlled, and somebody.
like one of those pink things you see
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
porno.
it's like you see on Pornhub that chick sitting in a restaurant.
Morse code in his asshole? Just
No, but like,
give him
you know those videos on Pornhub where you see a chick eating sushi and then all of a sudden she goes like orgasmic?
what?
That's the same thing, but with chess.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
got like a remote control, and you just buzz it, and it goes.
Can you imagine though, like if the guy was like playing and they came?
yeah.
checkmate.
Queen
You
takes
win.
knight.
Yeah.
It'd be more.
it's so
I'd rather
hot.
watch like Rain Man be a lot different if that was part of the plot.
Counting
Yeah,
cards.
that's how he counts cards.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise just fucking
Just
jizzing on
And then
it.
all
My
of a sudden,
brother's the
he
greatest.
just becomes normal. Like, we treated him. Now he's back.
I don't know why counting cards is illegal.
I think it should. You know what? I think if you can do it, you should be allowed to do it. In a
Yeah, me too.
yeah, I agree with you.
You're just good at the game.
Have you seen that movie 21? A bunch of MIT students just going around and counting cards.
If you're smart enough to do that, I think then you win. Like that's
Yep.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm not
true.
smart enough for it.
No,
I always
McDo-
lose money when I go to the casino.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald got thrown out.
But
of
it's
casinos
I
for
think
all
it's
the
like a
time.
conflict of interest, right? Like and if you think about like a
Yeah, if you own
business
the
way.
casino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steal your own money.
I don't think, like if you own a casino, but somebody comes up to your business and just takes all the donuts,
the
and you'll
money.
be like, "Hey, man, come on, man, you gotta pay for it, all of them." Like, come on.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. They have to have a rule if you're too good at it.
Yeah, but
Say you can't do it.
Nobody's that
Or
smart. than
maybe
all
they
the
should
people.
make a table that is just only for people that count cards.
Yeah.
Or
There
if
you
you're
go.
a
Yeah.
Card counter. Maybe you should just be good at faking it once in a while.
Yeah.
Lose a couple hands.
Hey, why does there always?
Oh, they did that probably for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I answered my own question.
What's the
I was like, why
question?
do they always have to have like the stupid girlfriend at the table that's not good at counting cards, but she's still playing a hand? Like they're still, that's just, they have more to count, right? Like this, they have more options and knowing she can make a bad move so I can have a better chance of getting a 10.
Oh, okay, like a lemon.
Oh, I
out of nowhere.
see. So like a setup,
Blair.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time I went and played poker in Niagara Falls with my buddy Dave, and we were pretty pissed up, and I think I might have been on mushrooms, I think. And then, so we're at the table. I'm having a great time, though. And we're fucking around. Like, we were, like, joking around, like, hacking on each other and stuff. And he's sitting across the table. And then they don't really, the rest of the table doesn't know who we are. And we just kind of show up drunk and sit on opposite ends of the table. And we're still interacting across the table through the hands. And then I start winning. Like, I start winning a lot. And then they all start getting mad at the table that our banter is table talk, that we're giving each other signals and stuff. I'm like, then why why aren't I making my dumb friend win? You know, like he's losing. Like how come you guys are all mad at me? Plus, we're way too stupid to do any of this stuff.
Yeah, you give too much credit.
Yeah, you're giving us way too much credit. I'm just lucky.
Interview me in 2 hours when I sober up.
It's all gone.
Yeah.
I'll lose all this in a second, and probably next hand.
I'm gonna go put it all on one slot machine in 12 seconds.
I'm very stupid.
I did that with roulette. I was winning, like I was playing roulette because I felt like that was the most fair chance at winning. It was roulette, and I was doing really well, but I got really hammered, and I won. I was at like $1,600, and then I like put it all on black,
Oh,
Dude,
lost it.
and I lost it. But then I was like, I gotta win it back. So then, but then I ran out of money, and like I was like, oh fuck it. And I'm like, I don't got any money in my bank. I'm like, I better pull out this credit card and go to the ATM, and I spent about $800 on my credit card.
This is
terrible.
Sounds like it's right out of a manual.
Yeah, what not to do?
What not to do?
Yeah, it was bad, man. I in college wasn't a great time for me. I spent a lot of money. Like I did that. I went to the casino too much. I once tipped a pizza guy $300 instead of $30 by accident, and then I was like too embarrassed.
Well, it's
to,
that
like,
casino habit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, then,
like
like-
everything on a pizza.
everyone's like, you need to call him back and say, hey, you made a mistake. I'm like, I'm like, I just made that guy's night. I'm like, what a loser I am. I'm like, hey, dude, like,
Did you think he went to the casino and put everything on black?
$300. I'm gonna need that
Turned
back.
it into 1,600.
Yeah, he comes back and Noah's just sitting crying beside the casino. He's like, I lost my tuition.
Yeah. No, I don't.
And it's broadcasting. It doesn't even matter. It's like, damn it.
Yeah, no, that was like the worst part. It cost me $20,000 for a fucking dying industry.
Dude, I had this. I went to University of British Columbia, and the thing about that university, it's like a bunch of people from Middle East and Abu Dhabi go there, right? Like
Yeah.
a lot of rich kids go there. And I met this guy from Abu Dhabi, but like he loved playing poker, and he was good at it, right? But it got to the point where how good he was. It got annoying.
Yeah.
He used to call me like from Vancouver casino and goes like, "Yo, Ivan, guess what? Guess how much I made?" I was like, "How much?" 20,000. And I was like, "I bought it for 3,000." Like, get the fuck out of here! Like, I just sold my Nikon camera and I played one hand and I lost everything. You know what I mean? And then he used to take his girlfriend with him, and she would sit there for 12 hours with him, waiting with her laptop doing medical work. I don't know, like she was in med school.
I got to interview.
And it got to a point where we start praying in the dorm rooms, and everybody would just go to ATM and cash out their like tuition money. And
to give to this guy?
What?
To mostly give to this guy, right?
I told you, the guy used to win. I lost $600 one day, but that pile like at the fucking dorm rooms kept building up to like 3,000, 4,000. As soon as we went to like 10,000, I'm like, guys, I'm just gonna go like to A&W. Like screw all of you. Like,
man, you'd be the same way though if you're making that kind of money, dude. As soon as you got a gas card for work, you like knocked on my door, like, Noah, hey. You see that? I can go anywhere for free.
No, I can't. Actually, I can because like I have to spend it. I have to spend it during business trips. You know, I have to actually like make. I can't do that because like that's how you get fired. You know.
How do you not call your buddy though when you win $20,000? I would be bragging to everybody. Like even if I like never did it again.
I don't know, but it kind of sucks. Imagine your buddy's just like broke to the point where he's just like going homeless. Like he's chilling on King Street in London, Ontario.
What if you're nice to him? Maybe he would have taken you to A&W.
Probably.
Yeah, it's like I
hope so.
I have my comic friends down here, and they take pictures by my pool, and they're like pouring water on their chest, and they're taking pictures by my weed plants, pretending they're like a Snoop Dogg and stuff, and then they Instagram it on their stories, and then they're all like pretending they're bawling, right?
Yeah,
but they're at
being an influencer.
They're at my house, and I don't ever do that because it's my stuff. I don't want people to know I have it, like I kind of like quiet.
Oh my god, I'll tell you a story about that. Like sometimes people like would show up to my friend's house, like I'm not gonna say who, but like my friend has this like gold thing that she posted on her fridge, right? Like I want to do this and that. Yeah. And this guy comes in the house, we don't know who he is. He just takes a picture, puts it on his Instagram, and she goes like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" like might as well open my fucking safe.
Diary,
I don't know, man. Like it's just some people are weird, man.
No one's ever
it's
taken
not
pictures.
my success, but I'm gonna take credit for it.
Yeah.
No one's ever taken pictures at our house.
I think most of the people who are standing
there's no
by
goals in that house.
most of the people who are standing by like a Ferrari on their Instagram post or something like that, they rented it or it's somebody else's, or they just passed it on the street and they're quick to get a picture of me because it's gonna make it look like I'm doing good, and they're just faking it. And then the people who really have it don't post that shit.
Well, I don't even get what.
Well, because they're humble.
Yeah.
People that really made their fucking money
they
hard.
know how hard it was to make.
Yeah. They just get humble, right? Like for me, like it's just like for me, it was so hard to get through my schooling that I'm just like, hey man, like I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna be like, stay quiet until people notice, right?
Yeah.
As soon as people notice, I'm like, okay, they notice. But like, I don't have to be like, hey, look at this. If I want to show off, I'm gonna show off to Noah because he's broke. No, I'm just kidding. He's cool.
He did drive me here. So.
But there is like younger people are more impressed by people who are bawling. Like I'm probably talking more 13-year-olds. Like you see like a young kid, like they're impressed by these people. But the older you get, I think the less you.
Well, the less important everything gets.
Because I lived in a shit house. I've lived in a nice house, and I never felt different in any of them.
Yeah, see, I think I would.
Yeah, but
if I bought a house right now, I'd post that I bought a house. I'd just be excited that I had a house. I wouldn't give a shit if like the house I bought was your pool house.
But you wouldn't be going like, look at me. I'm like,
finally making things great. Like follow me for tips. Like
yeah.
Well, I don't get it though. Like I don't understand why you want to post about any of that shit. Like, because then all it takes is one person to be like, I know you don't have that fucking Ferrari, you loser. Like,
I rented the same Ferrari 2 weeks ago.
Oh my god, dude! Sitting on, like I see some people like on Richmond Row in London, Ontario, just renting Ferraris, and I saw this guy literally like one night. It was like probably like he's starting going at 11 p.m. and he kept going in circles back and forward with it for like 2 hours until probably his rent card was done. Like it's like when you go to like McDonald's and it's like, yeah, I got 10 stamps, I get a free coffee, and the guy just kept doing that. that, and I'm like, what are you doing this? Like, it's not even yours.
That was a good night out in Norfolk when we were kids, eh? Just drive around in circles.
Cruising, yeah.
Cruise the strip in Turkey Point.
Or going in behind up beside Gadsby's and then to McDonald's.
Yeah, and
What a night.
That's all we would do. Just
drive through.
It's
No, but
boring.
that guy was just going back like Richmond Road, like back and forth for like probably like a lot of times.
I'm probably jerking off in there.
I mean, if I
I don't
rented a
know,
Ferrari,
man.
I would definitely masturbate in the Ferrari.
Well, if you just it must
that'd be the only reason why.
Like you'll have your foot on the dash too. Like make it a 9. You know?
I would just rent it now just to get my girlfriend to sleep with me. I'm like, hey, honey, look what I rented for the night. Let's go. I know I can't make it count, but this the vibrations in this will make it. So let's do that.
I've seen that on Pornhub too. A girl sits on the gear shift. It says,
Not even Noah.
it says woman fucks her car. I think it might be woman fucks her car.
Really?
The title left nothing to the imagination.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta see how this works.
Good burn.
Is this a Herbie the Love Bug thing, or is it? Yeah.
Maybe rethink renting a car kind of a little bit though. Like the amount of people that must masturbate in a car.
I mean, I feel like that's something you should just do. Like if every time I get a hotel room, it's like the first thing I do.
A nice Ford Escape.
Really?
I just walk in there. I'm like,
Is that like a hotel tradition that I never knew about? Like,
I mean, not if like I'm rooming with someone. I'll wait for you to leave, but like,
But your pillow's getting it, buddy.
oh, for sure, it's
If
like
you get a hotel room to yourself, like if you're away for business or something like that, and they give you your own, as soon as you get in the room and there's nothing going on, you're gonna just blast something all over the sheets.
this one time
You
I
got 2 beds. One bed's for you jerking off on it.
Yeah, it's the dirty
bed's for
bed. Like,
sleeping.
yeah, it's like,
Dirty
oh,
bed,
my-
clean bed.
like, this is a sleep bed.
also like I've stayed one time, like we did a comedy show in BC somewhere, and I stayed with this comedian, and then we had 2 beds, and then we slept
jerked off
beside each
together?
other. No, 1 second, and then he wakes up next morning and he goes, man, I rubbed one off. You didn't mind. I'm like, you should not tell me this.
Yeah.
Like, why are you telling me this? Like, I didn't notice, so it's good.
Wait,
If I was-
did he say you didn't mind? Is that what he said? to
Like,
you?
I hope you didn't mind. And I'm like, it happened. It happened.
I think he was hoping that something else would happen. He was like,
He probably
maybe I will
hope me like
notice.
I wake up in the middle of the night and just turn around and he's just jerking off and something would happen. Like, I don't know what.
Turns to like a gay porn. What are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I don't.
You should try it with me.
I got Playboy magazines. You know, I'm a classy dude.
I had a university friend that came down and worked planting tobacco with me for a couple weeks, and he felt like he hadn't seen a woman in a while, and the only woman he had seen was my girlfriend. So he was in the shower of our bunkhouse, and I was in the living room, and you can hear him from the shower. He yells out, "Hey Pete, I just fucked your girlfriend."
Oh,
That's what he said when he jerked off thinking of someone. He would say he fucked them, you know? And then I'm like, what? And then he's like, I just jerked off, like right here, like 20 feet from you.
thought about your girlfriend.
And I was thinking about your girlfriend when I did it. I'm like, what? I don't even know either of those things. Like either of those things, you could have kept both of them to yourself, and I would just have a nice, ordinary relationship
I
with
know,
you.
right? Like, what do you have to ruin like that? Like, I really like that dude, man, a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I really do. And now I'm just like questioning him every time. It's just like every time I go somewhere with him, I'm like, I hope he's not jerking off beside me somewhere. Like, I don't know.
Well,
But
he
like,
probably is, yeah.
he's probably behind
affected
this
you,
shit.
Yeah.
You weren't friends with them after?
No, I'm still friends with
I
him.
was to say, I mean, you've seen my balls about 47 times.
Yeah, but it's not like you jerked off
no,
beside me.
it was just
you know?
funny to show you my balls.
That was hilarious, though. Like, also, Noah, like, pranking me with his balls is probably a
It's
masterpiece.
not pranking. I just show him my
But
balls.
if you want to
sometimes.
tell
No,
him
but
now that you masturbated beside him, now's a good time.
No, he's too irritating to get like like a good you
But
know
he's driving
blood
you-
pressure down
And
there.
he's driving you home.
Yeah,
He starts talking about Stalin and it just kills your bone.
You know how many people? I know.
days.
60 million, yeah.
My mother grew up in Soviet Union, and I'll pretend like I did too.
Yeah. Dude, I speaking of Soviet Union, like I work in Woodstock right now, and there's like a really good European deli there.
Oh, yeah?
And every time I walk in, like they say it's a good deli, but like like imagine a good deli. Like in Europe, like when I've been to a deli, it's fucking stacked packed, like with fucking like it's like rows and rows. Like Alicia, if you go to Alicia, like that's a proper European deli, I would say so. But it's like very tasty there. But when I I come in, it's just like a really small fridge with like limited stuff, and I'm like, that's just European meats, but it's not really like European deli. So every time I walk in there, I just imagine like the Soviet Union times when everybody stayed in like a huge line for like one sausage
Piece of bread.
and some bread, and I'm just like, it is European, but not quite there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
there's not enough people like it.
I'm not
well,
hungry
no,
anymore.
it's very famous. Like, you guys should go. Like, it's amazing. They make nice sandwiches.
Where's
Yeah.
this?
It's in Woodstock, the European deli. It's actually not. It's a small, it's tiny one, but like the European delis that I know from Europe, that's like, you know, like coming from from that and into
You ever
that.
been to the one in Norwich, the Dutch bakery there in Norwich?
No, I have to check it
They
out.
have a good deli there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get horse.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a Dutch thing.
Like a alive? Like you can ride it?
No, it's kind of like prosciutto, you know.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like
Oh, I
salted
see.
meat, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's cured horse
Horse, yeah.
hooves and shit.
It was their meat.
Oh, that's the hot dogs.
Yeah.
That's a Dutch hot dog.
Yeah, I got.
I hate horses, man.
You do?
Yeah, I fucking hate horses.
That's why you eat them.
I got this tie for my job as a horse, and people love it.
Yeah.
Because most of my like clients are old people, and
Yeah.
they're just like, "Oh, a nice horse." I'm like, "All right,
That's what you can get
I'm
to win.
vibing, man."
Learn that for sales, Noah.
Get a
Is it-
horse?
Oh, horse tie. That's gonna work. Is it a horse tie?
Like, no, it's not made of horse skin.
No, it's a picture of a
I
horse.
just got a picture of a horse on it.
No, it's a picture of a horse on it. Like,
That'd be hilarious, yeah.
yeah, the way I said it, it wasn't very like
wasn't
clear.
clear.
Yeah, start going up to other
Especially
people.
after I just
Hey, I
ate
have a
one.
horse tie.
I want you
It's
to,
just a hoof.
I want you to buy this product from me. And like, no, I'm like, I got a horse tie on though. This is made from real horse.
I don't
The
know.
main.
Something about business casual, man. It works. I don't know why, but it works. As soon as you dress nicely and put some Chanel on you, like fucking, you can sell anything to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think
Well-
it look nice to sell things. I don't like.
I don't know.
I'll tell you
I
something.
think it's a number one factor looking nice. To be honest, one of the factors is looking nice. Of course, talking to people and making sense for sure. But like anything, if you look nice, people you're more approachable,
I
right?
think it depends what you're selling, because like I don't know.
Weed and cocaine.
That's what I mean. You know, wearing a suit.
Your cocaine
probably not
dealer
gonna wanna
shows
buy
up
that
in a
from you.
Chanel suit.
Yeah, honestly, like with me, when I was a young man and I started in my banking career, I tried doing everything the way they wanted me to, and everyone hated me because I was
Yeah.
so phony. And then
Develop your style, man.
And then finally, I lost it one day because I had this Hungarian customer who was like giving me a hard time about interest rates, and he's like going, like it was kind of I was insulted because it's like I gave you the best I could do, and you're treating me like I'm trying to gouge you, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was just like, you know what? Fuck you is what I said to him. I was like, fuck you. I just did all this work for you. I fought for you. I'm like arguing with my company for you, and then I come here trying to tell you what I did for you, and you treat me like shit, man. Like fuck off. I don't need you. You go somewhere else if they're gonna do better than me, you know. And then the guy goes, he just starts laughing, and then he goes, finally, a banker with some balls, you know, like.
Well, you gotta. But I feel like the
You got
thing
my
about
business.
business, you gotta
Yeah,
develop.
and that changed my whole. Then I won 2 Presidents Club awards. That was after that.
2 times.
Two times.
Yeah,
Two
2
times.
2 times.
And then but I mean, like that changed everything because I didn't care.
Well, you developed your style, man. That's your style. Not giving
me,
a fuck.
not them. Yeah,
Yeah,
not
that's
them.
you. That was true you. But I feel like you gotta develop your own style. You don't have to be like facade all the thing. Like if you can develop your style and still like speak your opinion to people, like it's fine.
But it's
Like,
different in
nobody-
corporate stuff because they want like I have like ride days with my bosses, and the way I sell is not how I sell when I'm with them. When I'm with them, they want to hear corporate lingo and stuff. They're just like,
yeah.
"Hey, Mike, how's it going? Like, yeah, we're gonna get this in today. Like, blah blah blah. Yeah, this isn't gonna work here, but we'll do this instead." And like, they don't want you to talk
But
like that.
still,
Yeah, that's right. I'll go to my customer and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm coming with some bigwigs tomorrow."
Yeah.
So I just gotta be like, give them their bullshit, and then
Yeah, it's like
we'll
I'm
be
gonna
normal
sound like an
after.
asshole tomorrow. Just so
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
I'm
just
gonna
so
say,
you know.
hey, you need to get this in here and this. Like we talked about. I'm like, just please forgive me. I'll bring you a case of beer later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not fun.
That's when the Royal Bank they like gave me a signing bonus to get me to go work for them, and they like courted me for years to go work for them. And then I went there, and they wanted me to then wear a suit all the time, and they wanted me to like start acting like they like they acted.
Like them.
I'm like, if I did all that stuff, then you guys wouldn't want me because I'd have no business. Like, what do you want me?
You headhunted me for a reason.
Yeah.
Let me do my thing.
I quit 4 days.
Well,
later.
yeah, that makes
4
sense.
days.
That makes sense, though. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because as soon as like somebody's is starting to like make you feel like you're not yourself, it bugs me a lot too.
Yeah, you had to be authentic.
There's some benefits like for my job in sales. Like I don't absolutely love my job, but like I make my own schedule, which is nice. Mind you, I work in like Chatham, Windsor, and live in London, so like I'm gone like every day. But like some days I'll just like I'm not fucking going anywhere today.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
getting
sit
it
at
done
home,
from here.
call some people. That's the other frustrating job too. Is they always want you to go somewhere, but you can get like the few days I've stayed home and just done my job from home. Like I'm done in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Compared to like a 10-hour day of just driving around, talking for 15 minutes and leaving.
Yeah, I've suffered from mental illness like pretty much my whole life, but I didn't know it. I just knew I was like useless for 6 months and then good for maybe 2, and then useless for 6 and good for 2. But in corporate world, you can do that because most of the time you're not doing fuck all, and like no one's doing fuck all. Everyone's just pretending to do something, and then once in a while you got to do something.
I mean,
you do something like big. So like I save my my big stuff. Like I got salesperson of the year. Well, salesperson for the first quarter this year.
Hey.
And like, hey.
This guy's coming out of nowhere. This guy's Johnny, it's a star.
Thank you. But like I didn't do much. I posted
from
like
1930s audience. They're all dead now.
a bunch of dead people cheering for him. But it was like we had to do this thing called Salesforce, which is like another like social media for corporate stuff. So I have to post what I'm doing on there every week, and I would just save like a couple big posts and post them, and like, wow, this guy did great. When half the shit I didn't even do, I just showed up. I'm like, oh, this story looks good.
Yeah.
Look what I did. And they're like, wow.
We used to have to do these things called we had to fill our pipeline every week. So then we had to have to go to sales meetings where you tell what you're doing to get new calls and what new customers you're seeing, what existing customers and all that stuff. So I would always just make shit up. So like one time I did all wrestlers. So I'd be like, I got to go see the Hogans tomorrow, and then on Thursday I'm seeing the Savages, and then the Steamboats on. It was all.
Can I ask you a question? Did somebody ever lost a job because of this podcast? Like somebody actually?
No, I don't think so. But one person was penalized by their work. I had to pull down the episode.
I'll give you some feedback if it doesn't. If I lose my job.
That was the appropriate amount of time between when he said and what you did, because he's not me. So I'm saying that's intuition, Johnny.
I was actually testing him. I just wanted to see.
That's good. If you had the power,
Yeah,
I like how there was the pause there, because I didn't know if you had the power yet either. And then the pause was there, and then it happened. And I'm like, yeah, the word's the word. The word has the power, not Noah, not Pete. No one owns it. But the pause was appropriate because when I say it, I don't know you're going to do it, but he's quick as lightning. He's already proved himself. I'm not going to make you do it again, John.
Oh, where is he now? Okay, there he is.
What was I saying? What were we talking about? Work, eh?
Yeah, corporate
work ethic.
Corporate sales, that we don't have to really do much. You just have to look good sometimes.
Yeah. That's true. And most of the time I was fucking useless, man. I was just really useless. And I couldn't believe it that they would give me promotions, and the more I tried getting fired, the more they would just promote me.
Yeah, I had remember when I was working at that call center for a bit last summer before I got this.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, like they wouldn't fire me, and like I didn't show up to work the one day for on the one day because I was raised not to call in. I just wanted them to fire me.
That's a good question right here.
Make them fire me, and like they didn't. They just they're like, hey, where you been? And I just said like, I didn't feel like coming in. They're like, oh, they're like, well, we're gonna give you a verbal warning. I'm like, what? Like,
you'd fire me.
That's it? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not fired? They're like, no one's talking about firing you, Noah. And I was like, what the fuck does it take to get fired here? And I'm like, I don't do my work when I'm here, and I didn't even come in, and am I even fired? It's like, no. I'm like, you guys must really need people. They're like, no, we just want to give everyone a chance. And I was like, bullshit.
I don't want the chance.
The call center that a lot of the comics in Hamilton work at, they would get fired like if they got a decent like travel gig or something, and then they would get hired back. The same people who fired them would like hire them back like 3 weeks later. Like they just didn't care.
We're struggling. Can you please come back? We need you.
Worst job ever.
It is. It's a terrible job. Well, they told me it was sales. That's how they got me. Like, hey, it's a work from home sales job, and I was like, oh, right on. Like, yeah, you get commission. I was like, okay. And like, what's the pay? Like, well, we pay you $17 an hour plus commission. I was like, oh, that's not bad at all. So I'm just gotta sell some shit. And then going through the train, like, all right, yeah, you're selling American Express credit cards. And I was like, oh
my god, I fucking remember that job.
So you get treated like shit all day.
One time Noah got his shit because he needed to use a bathroom, and I just walk out of my room because he would work in like a living room because he lived upstairs, so I could hear everything he says. And one time I walk out to just like make myself a coffee or whatever, and Noah's just saying like, hey Michael, if I have to go to the bathroom, I have to go to the fucking bathroom. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah, they gave me shit for taking a shit. It was terrible. So and then I found out the commission was $5 per card you sell, and like you're not selling a lot of cards the other day because everyone fucking hates you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, just calling from American Express on behalf of Bill Gosselin. They're like, shut up! I'm like, I don't want it. I'm like, okay, no worries. And it's just stupid. And then like, yeah, the one guy, the manager there.
I bet your day is so ruined by the end of the day.
No, I didn't mind it too much. To be honest, I don't mind people telling me to fuck off on the phone. I get a laugh out of it. The one guy's like, why are you calling me? I'm like, this is my job. He's like, well, fuck you. just hanging up the phone.
So we're getting to around the hour mark, and I just wanted to use this time to say that we wanted to give a Ukrainian a chance to have a break from people hounding him about his opinion of the war.
Oh yeah,
and we've done it.
It's the worst.
And we've done it.
Yeah.
And now we're at the very end of the show.
We're going to bring it up.
Last chance.
Cool. No, before I bring it up, I just want to say, like, I got fired one day, like, just before I bring it up. I got fired. I remember I used to go to the grocery store. I think I was, like, 20 years old. I got fired, and I don't know, like, I work at this stupid grocery store in this franchise, and I got fired. As soon as I got fired, like, I brought my backpack, and I fucking packed it with food from the grocery store, and I just left. Nobody never noticed. I just like took like months worth of hockey bag of food. Did
you do it because you knew Russia was going to invade? So you just
probably. I was mad, but like I hate when people just bring it up because a lot of people here live in peace and harmony. Right, you know what I mean? And they don't understand the beef in Eastern Europe. Like, they don't get it, how many countries are very close to each other there, and what kind of history we had back in the day. And all they can do is just be compassionate. But sometimes it's too much compassion. Like, it's way too much.
Yeah.
I was working at the school. And this professor, by the way, like the most educated person ever, just comes in and she starts speaking to me. He's like, hey, what's your name? And I said, Ivan. And she goes like, Ivan like French? And I'm like, no, Ivan like Eastern European. And she goes like, oh, Ivan like French? And I'm like, no, just like Ivan like Slav. It's a Slav name. And she goes like, no, it's French. So she's telling me that it's French, right? And she's a fucking PhD professor, probably the most like,
Well, she's educated, not smart.
You assume after all those years her brain would fucking click in. You know what I mean? And I just get pissed. No, I'm fucking from Ukraine. And she goes like, oh. no, because I wanted to piss her off, and she still goes like, so how is it going out there? And I'm like, and my answer was like, you know what? I'm pro-Russian. Get the fuck out of here. I chose the bad. Like, I don't know if it's not even a good or a bad side, because like people don't understand that Russians and Ukrainians, we're like pretty close. Like we're not enemies, and everybody thinks we are.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. Like if you don't know what you're talking about, just don't say anything. Just be like, hey man, instead of just saying Ukrainian, be like, oh, Ukraine, nice country, right? Nobody ever says that. Nobody ever brings the nicest. Like they always go like, oh, do you want to talk about the death of your family? Do you want to remember that? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like we have a Black Sea in Ukraine. We have mountains. We have Crimea. Not anymore that we had it, but like it used to be beautiful. Like I don't know. But like this one time I was in Toronto, I was visiting my Russian friend Mikhail, but like he's a good guy, right? Like I still like he's good shit. And I got too drunk, and when I get too drunk, I get emotional. No one knows. Like I get super emotional. One time my bike got stolen, and I start punching the wall and crying at the same time. I not even a motorcycle, like a bicycle. My bicycle got stolen.
That someone died.
And I came home and I started punching the wall. I'm like, my bike.
Yeah, it was like 4:30 in the morning, and I'm like, and I just like, "Ah!" I'm like, what the fuck is that?
A nice Schwinn.
It's like, it was a good bike though. It was like,
Yeah, no shit. You know,
no, I had
someone fucking die.
I had Continental tires on, like, so they were pretty expensive. Like,
that's what he was crying the most of it was the fucking tires.
The 500 piece, bro.
Those fucking tires, man.
And I put a lot of work into that bike because it's a custom-made, like, Sinki, like Japanese 1982 Tour de France. So I put a lot of fucking effort in it to build it. Pretty much like Shazma with his BMXs, you know what I mean? Like I put a lot of time into that bike, and it just got upset. And
the best part was it was only down the road. Like someone stole it, but then gave up.
Oh,
found it?
No, but they which is the funniest thing about that stealing that bike. They just took it together with the thing that I locked it to, but because they weren't powerful enough because of crackheads, they don't have like enough power to carry it. They got like, fuck this, and they just dropped it. And the owner of the poachers found my bike down the road, and they called me the other day. It's like, here's your bike, and and the next day I came home and it's like, no, I'm sorry about last night, man. I apologize.
Starts laughing. He's like, oh man. He's like, drama, eh? Like a fucking 12-year-old up there.
But like, I'm drunk in Toronto, I'm chilling with Mikhail, and I'm just sitting on a bus, just quiet. Jester was with us too. He didn't have any of it. And then Mikhail just sitting, and then he goes to me, and I thought he said like, do you want to talk about it? And as soon as he said that, like all the Ukrainian emotions, just like all the emotions that I was holding in just came out. Like I started crying. He's like, you guys don't understand what the fuck I'm going through. And the next morning, I realized that he didn't ask me, do you want to talk about it? All he said is like, do you guys want to get food? And I thought he said like, do you want to talk about it? And because he's Russian, like my head was like, maybe he understands. And he did, which was good. But probably like it was like and Jester was like, man, I don't know what you were crying about. It was like I said about Ukraine, and Jester goes like,
yeah, we'll give you a pass. We have no idea.
Then you get one. And I was like, I'm sorry to ruin your night, because we left the bar at like 11:30. And my buddy Mikhail, because he's Russian, he loves doing ecstasy, and he wanted to go somewhere till like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And I was just like, I was done. I know. I got too drunk really quickly.
I remember when they first attacked, I went up and talked to him. He's like, he's like worried about his family and everything, obviously. And then like 2 days later, I went to go talk to him again. I'm like, hey man, like how's everything going? He's like, oh, fine. He's like, my family, they're in Moscow now.
yeah, they all moved to Moscow now. Like they all live, like I have probably a few relatives that like probably one relative that lives in Vinnytsia, Ukraine, but everybody else from my mom's side just moved to Moscow in like 2001, like long time ago.
Oh yeah.
And now everybody just feels sorry about me, but they don't know.
Yeah, it was
like nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. It's like everybody's like Ukrainians, like, let me jump in conclusions really quickly here. here. And I'm like, you don't know. Like,
It's a really smart idea. Move to the country that's attacking you. It's like-
dude, I feel like everybody should have been a Nazi back in the day.
Yeah, it's not a.
Could have been easier.
Well, the French were like that, weren't they? Yeah, some of them gave up. You know that? Did you know that the Hungarians just gave away the Jews? They weren't even in, like, they weren't invaded by Germany. They just gave.
They just the Germans said, like,
here?
call this hotline. Do you have any Jews that you know?
Yeah, they gave away like 600,000
Like,
Budapest.
That's fucked up,
Jews.
man.
Yeah.
That's like next level shit.
Huh?
Like,
Maybe just to avoid getting invaded.
yeah,
Yeah,
but like
maybe.
still, man. But
They got-
still, like, what the fuck kind of human being would do that?
Yeah, that's awful.
You know what I mean? Like, still.
Anyway, we'll end on that high note, eh? We like to bring it right down at the end with all that. But thanks you very much for coming in, guys. I want to tell you, Johnny, top marks. You nailed it. You nailed it in every way. Kevin, you're of course doing a bang up job. Everybody had something to drink, and our guests, Noah James and Yvonne Baltag. Can you tell people how to find you on the socials?
Oh,
yeah. You can find my YouTube channel on Noah James Comedy on YouTube, and Instagram is Classic Noah James, and that's it. That's all I got.
I want to plug in. I run a show every Wednesday, open mic at the Frankenfruiters in London, Ontario, at 172 King Street. Also, we're putting our first pro show this Friday.
Awesome.
9:30. It starts at 9 p.m. Tyler Shazma is going to headline.
Yes.
He's the headliner, and yeah, you can come in. $15 a ticket, and you're gonna guys have a fun because it's a nice room.
Yes, it is fun there.
I didn't even
They
think
got
about
good food.
I didn't even think about like plugging my show. Oh yeah, Poacher's Arms open mic every Monday. I'm a host of that with Mitch VK, as well as a pro show there every month on a Thursday, once a month on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys, for coming in. And you know how to find us. Go to the socials and give us the thing
Give it a
so that Johnny
give.
doesn't have to hit the button again, but you know what to do. And until next week, we will see you, NT. See you next Thursday. Hit that theme song, Johnny. Get your dick joke shirts. Like
And live video, right?
tomatoes, man.
oh yeah.